The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
2015 is almost here, and with it comes those New Year's resolutions to finally transform your body the way you want it. There's a reason over 88% of New Year's resolutions fail. Make this year different by equipping yourself with Oxy Powder, the next level in cleansing the body naturally. Using super oxygenation, Oxy Powder, available through InfoWarsLife.com, gently cleanses the body while you sleep with easy capsules. InfoWars Nightly News Director Rob Dew has been using Oxy Powder with incredible success.
Took it that first day, then I took it for 6 more days after that. 12 pounds melted off in about a week. I'd say a week, 7 days. And I've been able to keep it off, too. My wife was like, wow, you look really good. And I'm like, I know. I guess it's this Oxy Powder.
2015 can be different. Diet and exercise are important, but a lot of us have already tried that. Oxy Powder flushes it out. Secure your Oxy Powder at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock in the last limited shipment of 2014. The most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Vitamin B12 deficiency is linked to scores of serious problems. And Secret 12 is a fusion of 2 organic, proprietary forms of vitamin B12, bringing you a true nutraceutical quality vitamin B12. Secret 12. Secret 12 is an excellent Christmas gift and is tailor-made to boost your New Year's resolutions. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
Well, you're hearing it from our listeners, or the listeners that are able to call in. They've got a lot of horror stories from the police, but they still want to try to work it out and fix things. I personally have had pretty much nothing but good experiences with the Austin police, except for one time when they tried to violate my First Amendment. This is like 8-9 years ago when I was protesting Governor Perry. They were getting riot police ready. We were peacefully protesting. They'd already lost a whole bunch of lawsuits. And I kind of blew up at them. The video's online. They were very restrained, but it didn't, I mean, I got mad. They're like saying, no, you have no First Amendment. And I just was yelling at this cop because he had come over. The Statesman was doing an article. San Antonio newspaper was doing an article, following me around. So there were 2 reporters there. And the cop came over and he said, yeah, you can protest. And they came over like an hour later and said, I never said you could protest, right in front of the newspaper, even though they had heard him and written it down. And I just blew up. I said, man, you are a liar. And I think that's what makes people more mad than anything is the lying. And the fact that so many departments train police how to lie on the stand. That's come out. But I just like the fact that I've been attacked by groups of rednecks. I don't look at somebody wearing a cowboy hat and think they're going to attack me, or I've been attacked by black folks who are racist. I don't look at black people and say, oh, they're black, so they're going to attack me. I don't look at cops and think, because I've been around bad cops, they're all bad. I'm trying to change the culture. I'm trying to wake them up. I'm trying to actually reach out and have serious discussions that have an effect instead of just causing more division. The globalists have set up their police state. They've militarized them. Now they want us to have a war with each other. You could say at some levels, hey, you guys are all dressed up, ready for war. Okay, you're going to get one. But that plays into the George Soros' hands. The Democratic Party is financing these rabble-rousers and provocateurs and destabilizers, and then making them heroes on the news when they demonize legitimate demonstrations and free speech. I mean, this is a very clear program that's taking place. There's not a doubt in my mind that I'm right about this. So I'm asking listeners, do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? We could have your bad cop stories all day, and that's fine. I could play videos every day of police doing absolutely horrible things and covering it up. I could also play video every day of police doing heroic, good things and doing the right thing. We try to have a balance of it all because here's the deal. I don't want to just play in to the paradigm. There's another reason dinosaur media has jumped on the hate the police bandwagon. That's because their ratings are flagging. And they know it's popular to bash the police. Just mindlessly. But what police are you talking about? The feds? Who are the minders over the local police in their minds? When the feds get away with executing people in cold blood, when they're handcuffed and don't get in trouble, burning down the Waco Branch Davidians, killing the kids, and I don't want to just sit here and out of hand demonize the FBI either. Because that plays into this whole mentality of, well, we're being attacked, so we might as well just circle the ranks and do whatever the brass says when the brass are the bad guys. Doesn't mean all the brass are bad guys, but when you get into the feds, I mean, the attorney general is super evil and has been caught in multiple false flags and persecuting gun owners, veterans, and Christians with the IRS and hadn't gotten in trouble. When Joe Stack flew his airplane into the IRS building and killed 2 IRS employees, even though the IRS is unconstitutional, abuses people, it's extrajudicial, I don't wish them any harm physically. But my goodness, the IRS director, all of them came for the press conference to grandstand and look like victims. Aren't they really the people that run the criminal show? But not even them. Above them, I mean, do you know it's the private Federal Reserve that gets all that money? See, I want to repeal the Federal Reserve, and we're very close to it. And I want to win the war intellectually. And we are starting to win. That's why they're going to start a race war and a war with the police so they can say, oh, we can't allow demonstrations anymore. Look what it did in 2015, 2014. Oh, we can't allow, I mean, the media already tries every day, multiple times a week, to tie Alex Jones and Infowars.com to violence when we're the opposite. The Liberty Movement's being demonized right now by Time Magazine, saying right-wing militias are the real threat to cops. Daily Caller. The secret world of extremist militias. And you go into these reports, guess who's in them? Yours truly. And they teach police across the country that Alex Jones basically wants you dead so that they can try to shut us down later, just like they blamed Oklahoma City on Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh had nothing to do with Oklahoma City, ladies and gentlemen. Talk radio and free speech had nothing to do with it. And that was a federal operation just like Fast and Furious. Oh, how far we've come. You talk about this stuff 10 years ago, like Billy Corgan said around the dinner table, people would laugh at you if you talked about the New World Order and conspiracy. If you told them the Federal Reserve was private, they'd laugh at you. Now people don't laugh. They might not want to hear about it and say there's nothing we can do about it, but they know it's real. The globalists are losing the info war. Every month, we can keep them from not kicking off a civil war or a big, fat, juicy, false flag to blame on us. They're capable of anything. I want to get into North Korea threatening to blow up the White House, tied right into the movies that have... Now, notice how what North Korea says dovetails with Hollywood, because both our authoritarian regime needs an outside threat to take freedom, and North Korea and Kim Jong-un, he likes Dennis Rodman coming to visit him. Do you think he likes movies being made about him? It's well known that this is propping North Korea up, and they love it. North Korea couldn't hack their way out of a 2 + 2 = 4 equation. They didn't attack. They didn't steal that info, and there's evidence to that now emerging, and they've denied it. But shot their mouths off more about how they'll blow up the whole U.S. It's not North Korea that disappeared nuke warheads out of Dyess Air Force Base last year. All right, Damien, go ahead and finish your point that you were getting into. Go ahead.
I'd like to directly reply to your media narrative, the leftist media narrative. Actually, to me, that's sort of the same thing as blaming the gun instead of the shooter. There are only two types of people where PSYOPs works most effectively. One is academically smart, and two is really dumb. Because academically smart, they understand they operate on a system. So if they believe the system, they think it works on behalf of them. So if they re-articulate it back, they think it's actually working on behalf of them. Stupid, obviously, you get confused. So the whole thing about this is the same thing as inciting a riot. I mean, the only person guilty is the person enacting it. However, the thoughts come into his head and, whatever the nature of his mind was before he got all this, media echo chamber, that's besides the issue. So this whole notion of, 20 years you've been articulating very eloquently how the system, the police state, the Federal Reserve, all these larger constructs are responsible. Well, the state is a fiction without, its actors. And the commissars. And who are the enforcement class? It is the enforcement class. There's a reason why Will Grigg, who used to be with John Birch Society, left John Birch Society because of their constant stance on, their police, function fundraiser. I'm like, are you kidding me? You guys are raising money for the enforcer class. The politicians, the corporatists have no power without the enforcer class. So it's time to repeal the government, the notion of government police, not just repeal the Fed. You need to repeal that notion permanently. This is... you can't fix an occupation that perpetually, attracts the most psychotic of a society. There's like 10% that are always going to be psychopathic, and that's who it attracts for a reason, because they could.
Well, it is a historical fact that the uniform attracts psychopaths, control freaks. It also attracts good people, but yeah, a good 5–10% of police, I think, is a conservative number, are deranged masochists who are on power trips. And those are the type that end up in many departments rising up to the ranks. Now, smart cities, smart counties want good, stable prosperity and won't put up with that. And so, I think it varies department to department. All I'm saying is, how do you deal with the paradox that we get a lot of great information from local police departments, a lot of great information, the military, because they're the ones in there doing it. They know how real this is a lot more than even I do. And so it's like a paradox. It's our problem, but it's also part of the solution. I know we've got a big, giant imperial military that they're trying to use against us, but shouldn't we then reach out to them and educate them about the larger plan instead of just saying they're the enemy? How do you navigate that? Because as Ron Paul said, it would take decades to wean us off of this and reform this. I'm saying we've come to the point now where they want to go ahead and start a civil war. So I get your larger point. I think you're absolutely right. But how do we get from here to there when the system isn't even looking at that? It's going to start a civil war. I'm just trying to stop that.
Well, Alice, you know how you always say, if you're not doing anything now, you're not going to do it